Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s meant you had a reasonably high chance of ending up being a wrestling fan. Like many of us, we transitioned from hardcore wrestling fans to hardcore wrestling analysts who were always known to say, "I knew this was coming." However, sometimes extraordinary circumstances arise and even we are left dumbfounded. Here are 16 shocking title changes and the reasons why they happened. Many of them turned into pleasant surprises, but a few had fans wondering if creative was smoking PCP. While you may have heard of some of these shockers, we would like to highlight the behind-the-scenes events that made them happen. Going through this list, you might once again recollect the statement, anything can happen in WWE. Number 16. Mankind won the belt from The Rock on December 29, 1998. January 4, 1999 is the date WWE officially recognizes as the night the title changed hands. However, Mankind actually won the belt from The Rock on December 29, 1998. The match took place in Worcester, Massachusetts during the height of the famous Monday Night Wars. WWE did their best to put on quality content, but WCW had all the answers, hence why they won the ratings war 84 weeks in a row. What would it take for WWE to finally turn the tide? Apparently putting the WWE title on Mankind, also known as Mick Foley. At the time, Mankind had been battling Vince McMahon and his corporation for months. He was cast as an underdog who had just about everyone in the crowd behind him, but he couldn't quite get over the hump created by McMahon and his hand-picked WWE champion, The Rock. The match was contested under no-holds-barred rules. The corporation was at ringside, as was DX, but as things broke down, it was Austin who came out to give Mankind the assist he needed. After smashing The Rock over the head with a steel chair, Austin placed Mankind over the champion and a 3 count was registered. The crowd went wild. Everything that followed made it even better. From the reaction of McMahon to the post-match speech by the new champion, it was a special moment. Number 15, Shawn Michaels defeats Bret Hart for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Survivor Series 1997. Seriously guys, every third article has the Montreal Screwjob. By 1997, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels had a rivalry both in and out of the ring. The Hitman was scheduled to leave WWE for WCW shortly, so fans knew a title change was coming. Hart's creative control dictated when, where, and to whom he would lose the belt. As Hart's departure neared, Vince McMahon panicked and double-crossed Hart, fearful that the Hitman would take the WWE title belt to WCW. At 1997's Survivor Series, Shawn Michaels put Bret Hart in Hart's finisher, the Sharpshooter, and the referee called for the bell immediately, even though Hart clearly hadn't submitted. Fans were surprised at the match's ending, but no one as much as Hart. McMahon had promised Hart he could drop the title after Survivor Series. The conversation was even captured on film for the documentary Wrestling with Shadows. In what might be called karma, Michaels injured his back in a casket match against The Undertaker at 1998's Royal Rumble, forcing his early retirement. Nearly 20 years later, the Montreal Screwjob remains controversial, with some even claiming it was all a work. Number 14, Sergeant Slaughter defeats the Ultimate Warrior for the WWE Championship, Royal Rumble 1991. A case of buyer's remorse led to a shocking and controversial title switch. In 1990, Vince McMahon put the WWE title on the Ultimate Warrior, believing he could take WWE further than Hulk Hogan. When this didn't happen, McMahon called on the Hulkster to save WrestleMania 7, which was booked for the Los Angeles Coliseum. McMahon knew he needed a must-see event to fill the Coliseum's 100,000 seats, so he had American wrestler turned Iraqi sympathizer Sergeant Slaughter win the belt, hoping to capitalize on the war between the US and Iraq. McMahon built 2 angles out of the title switch after Macho King Randy Savage interfered in the match, smashing his ruby scepter over Warrior's head, enabling Slaughter to win the match. At WrestleMania 7, Hogan faced Slaughter while the Warrior faced Savage in a retirement match. Slaughter defended the title against Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Ultimate Warrior, dropping it to Hogan at WrestleMania 7. Number 13, JBL defeats Eddie Guerrero for the WWE Championship, Great American Bash 2004. Title changes can shock when an undercard wrestler unexpectedly wins the big one. In this case, John Bradshaw Layfield was repackaged from a brawler into a wealthy investor. Repackaging a wrestler can be dangerous, just ask the Red Rooster Terry Taylor. But in JBL's case, it catapulted him to the main event after he upset Guerrero in a bull rope match. Fans were surprised, believing JBL would be a transitional champion. Instead, JBL developed a knack for keeping the title by any means, thwarting the challengers of main events as Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, The Undertaker, and The Big Show, even squeaking out a win against Show in a barbed wire cage match. JBL dropped the belt to John Cena at WrestleMania 21. At the time, JBL's 9-month reign was the longest in 10 years. Number 12, Chyna defeats Jeff Jarrett for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, No Mercy, October 17, 1999. When the ninth wonder of the world began wrestling, she proved she wasn't just an excellent woman wrestler, but just an excellent wrestler. In 1999, Chyna became the first female to enter the Royal Rumble, the King of the Ring, and to earn a #1 contender spot for the WWE title. Jeff Jarrett's misogynistic attacks on WWF divas led to Chyna stepping in, and she challenged him to a title match. The Good Housekeeping match, a no-holds-barred encounter with household items strewn in and out of the ring, saw Chyna win the belt, the first and only woman to do so. Chyna would hold the belt for 2 months before dropping it to Chris Jericho at the Armageddon pay-per-view. Number 11, The Undertaker defeats Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship, Survivor Series 1991. The Undertaker received one of the biggest pushes in WWF history, debuting at the 1990 Survivor Series and winning the WWE title at the next year's event. Despite a huge push, many fans were surprised to see Taker pin Hogan, as Hogan rarely lost by pinfall. At the time, WWE was testing the idea of a midweek pay-per-view, so they had Hogan drop the belt to Taker with help from Ric Flair, setting up a match 6 days later at the Tuesday in Texas pay-per-view. The pay-per-view was a bust, but it set things up for the WWE belt to be defended at the 1992 Royal Rumble match after President Jack Tunney vacated the belt due to Tuesday in Texas's controversial finish. Number 10, Jeff Hardy defeats Triple H for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, SmackDown, April 12, 2001. Tag teams have traditionally been a way to establish wrestlers before promoting them to singles action. However, for every Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, there are Jim Neidhart and Marty Jannetty. In 2001, the Hardy Boys were very popular, and WWE decided to give Jeff Hardy a push. Hardy upset Triple H for the Intercontinental title in an amazing match on SmackDown. While the reign was short-lived, Hardy dropped the belt back to Triple H the next week on Raw. It established Hardy as a championship contender. Number 9, Hollywood Hulk Hogan defeats Kevin Nash for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, Monday Nitro, January 4, 1999. When Hollywood Hulk Hogan challenged Kevin Nash to a title shot, fans knew while it wouldn't be a 60-minute Broadway, it might be a decent brawl. Instead, they got Hogan poking Nash in the chest and Nash collapsing to the mat as if he'd been shot. The fans lost their minds when it was revealed to be a scam to reunite the NWO, putting the belt back on Hogan. When announcer Tony Schiavone mockingly noted that wrestler Mankind was going to win the WWE Championship, WCW viewers switched the channel, giving Raw the ratings win. The finger poke of doom became synonymous with WCW's creative decline, the turning point in its loss to WWE. Hogan would defend the belt until losing it to Ric Flair at Uncensored on March 14, 1999. Number 8, Diamond Dallas Page defeats Ric Flair, Sting, and Hollywood Hogan for Flair's WCW Championship, Spring Stampede 1999. DDP's life story is an amazing one of a man who began wrestling later in life but won the WCW Championship after years of hard work honing his craft and winning over the fans. On April 11, 1999, Page fulfilled his dream, winning the belt in a four-way between champion Ric Flair, Sting, and Hulk Hogan. Page lost the title to Sting the following night on Nitro, only to win it later that night in a fatal four-way no disqualification match. Page would drop the belt to Kevin Nash the next month at Slamboree, eventually holding the title 3 times. Confused? You should be. This was the state of WCW back in the day during its decline. Number 7, Edge defeats John Cena for the WWE Championship, New Year's Revolution 2006. When Edge won the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 21, the concept was new and untested. Some fans forgot about it until January 8, 2006, when Edge cashed in his contract after WWE Champion John Cena successfully defended his title in a 6-man Elimination Chamber match. The heel Edge capitalized, spearing the exhausted Cena twice before winning the match. Fans were shocked. Part of the shock was the devious way Edge had used the contract. Rather than signing a match to meet a champion at a designated date, Edge used the contract's broad nature of being able to be cashed in at any time during a WWE event. Edge's title win celebration proved popular the next night on Raw as he had a live sex celebration, not only scoring with Lita, but scoring Raw's highest rating in a year. Edge would successfully defend the title against Ric Flair in a TLC match on Raw before dropping the belt to John Cena at the 2006 Royal Rumble. Edge's first title run, while short, would be the first of 11 World Championships. Number 6, Bob Backlund defeats Bret Hart for the WWE Championship, Survivor Series 1994. Bob Backlund's All-American character served the WWF well in the late 70s and early 80s until Vince McMahon opted for the flashier approach, replacing Backlund with Hulk Hogan. By 1994, WWE focused on a new generation of younger athletes like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, with a focus on in-ring skills. Backlund returned in 1992 and established himself at 1993's Royal Rumble, lasting a record-setting 61 minutes and 10 seconds. In 1994, fans witnessed a battle between the old generation and the new generation as Bob Backlund challenged Bret Hart unsuccessfully for the WWE title. Backlund snapped after the match, attacking Hart viciously. At 1994's Survivor Series, a throw-in-the-towel submission match saw Bret's cornerman get knocked out by Backlund's cornerman, Owen Hart, Bret's estranged brother. After chicanery led to Backlund locking Bret in his submission chicken wing hold, Owen persuaded Bret's mother to throw in the towel, crying crocodile tears that Bret faced serious injury if the match wasn't stopped. While fans were upset, that would change 3 days later when Diesel, Kevin Nash, defeated Bob Backlund in 8 seconds at Madison Square Garden to win the WWE strap. Backlund's win transitioned the belt to Diesel and furthered the feud between Bret Hart and brother Owen. Number 5, Bret Hart defeats The Miz for the WWE United States Championship, Monday Night Raw, May 17, 2010. Bret Hart is a tough man, having learned to wrestle from wrestling dad Stu Hart in the infamous Hart Dungeon. After recovering from a stroke, no one expected Bret to return to the ring. On May 17, 2010, Hart defeated The Miz for the United States Championship. Hart vacated the title after becoming Raw General Manager the following week. The win was a good way to advance the Hart Dynasty vs. Show Miz feud and give Hart, as well as the fans in Toronto, Ontario, a feel-good moment. Number 4, Ivan Koloff defeats Bruno Sammartino for the WWF Championship, Madison Square Garden, January 18, 1971. Madison Square Garden went silent after Ivan Koloff defeated Bruno Sammartino for the WWF Championship, ending a 7.5-year-long reign. Bruno's reign was successful and could have gone on much longer. Unfortunately, Bruno had tired of the hectic championship schedule. Vince McMahon Sr. did not believe in long-term heel champions, so Koloff served as a transitional champion, holding the belt for 21 days before dropping it to Puerto Rican babyface Pedro Morales. The ring announcer did not call Koloff's title win, fearful of the crowd rioting. Number 3, Tazz defeats Mike Awesome for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship, ECW on TNN, April 13, 2000. While WCW and WWF signed stars away from Paul Heyman's ECW, Heyman was always able to replace them. One such star was Mike Awesome, who won the ECW title his first night back in the promotion. Months later, Awesome shocked the world when he appeared on Monday Nitro. The problem was that he was still under contract to ECW. To avoid a lawsuit, WCW agreed for Awesome to drop the ECW title to anyone of Paul Heyman's choosing. Heyman brought in former ECW star Tazz, now signed with the WWF, and Awesome did the time-honored tradition. The wrestling world was shocked by this win, but nowhere near as much as the shocks that followed when Tommy Dreamer won the ECW title a week later, then dropping it 20 minutes later to Just Incredible. Awesome would be shocked later on when WCW repackaged him as the Fat Chick Thriller. Number 2, Vince McMahon defeats Triple H for the WWE Championship, SmackDown, September 16, 1999. Triple H was riding high in WWE after stealing both the WWE title and Stephanie McMahon's hand in marriage. WWF Kingpin Vince McMahon was powerless to do anything due to a previous stipulation barring him from any WWF business. That didn't stop Triple H from calling out Vince, even offering him a title shot. Vince refused until Triple H's insults pushed McMahon over the edge. The Wild Brawl saw Triple H destroy Vince and guest referee Shane McMahon. Things looked bleak until Stone Cold Steve Austin ran in for the save, stunning the champion and placing McMahon on top for the win. The title reign lasted mere days as McMahon vacated the title days later on Raw, reminding everyone of the stipulation barring him from the ring. Austin reinstated McMahon in exchange for a future title shot. Fans were genuinely shocked by the win, and while some grumbled at the company's owner booking himself a title, most people enjoyed the surprise as it helped advance the feud between Vince and Triple H. The ultimate vindication was the nearly 1-point rating bump from the previous week. Number 1, David Arquette defeats Eric Bischoff for DDP's WCW World Title, WCW Thunder, April 25th, 2000. WCW's track record using celebrities in the ring wasn't bad, with Karl Malone, Kevin Green, and even Jay Leno adding spice to pay-per-views. WCW crossed the line though when they put the WCW title on actor David Arquette, who starred in the wrestling-based film Ready to Rumble. WCW figured that since several of its wrestlers appeared in the film, why not put Arquette in the ring? Things started off okay with Arquette appearing on Nitro and even pinning Eric Bischoff. Things stepped into the Twilight Zone when Arquette teamed with WCW champion Diamond Dallas Page against Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett. The match had the bizarre stipulation that whoever scored the winning pinfall would become WCW champion. In a stroke of truly bad booking, Arquette pinned Bischoff, winning the belt. Arquette, a wrestling fan himself, pointed out the insanity of having a non-athlete win the promotion's top prize, but WCW insisted. Arquette played along, generously donating his proceeds to charity, winning the belt on the April 25th, 2000 edition of Thunder. To no one's surprise but Booker Vince Russo, the angle disgusted everyone. A non-title win over Tank Abbott didn't help, and things really hit the fan when Arquette turned heel on his friend DDP on the May 7th, 2000 Slamboree pay-per-view, allowing Jeff Jarrett to win the belt. So guys, that's our list. Are there any title changes that shocked you that may have not made our list? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, show us some love by hitting that like button. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button and get more videos just like this one. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, by the way guys, I'm back!